is where I pretty much felt like my head was gonna blow off.
Jet motherfucking Dent, president, Jet motherfucking Dent, president, Jet motherfucking Dent, president, Jet motherfucking Dent, president.
Hello Poppets, how's everybody doing today? I hope you're doing well. Today's video is not going to be a happy one, but I'm really going to try to not bash these people or talk badly about them. But I do want to get this out in the open because I know that a lot of people knew about this or that I was planning to go do this, and so I want to make sure that everyone understands why I am not doing it now. If you don't know what a TED Talk is, the idea of TED Talks or the TED organization has been around since the mid-80s. It's a nonprofit organization that's centered on the spreading of ideas, and they tend to stick to topics such as technology, education, and design, which is why they call it TED Talks. But it does cover all sorts of topics. It doesn't just have to be in those three areas. If you've never listened to a TED Talk or watched a TED Talk, I really encourage you to do that, especially if you're looking for something to watch and you're tired of watching just the same old crap. You can go to their YouTube channel. There is a TED Talks channel, and I mean, like I said, the people talk about everything, and they're very interesting to watch. There is also an organization called TEDx. TEDx is just like a step down from the TED Talks. And what it is that different cities, different communities put on TEDx Talks, and they invite people to come to those areas and to speak on different things and to get ideas out there. So there's also a TEDx YouTube channel. These things are huge. Now, people that have spoken at TED are people like Al Gore, Monica Lewinsky, Elizabeth Gilbert, all sorts of, I mean, you name them, they have spoken at TED. And then there are TEDx Talks, which is just a step down, which is what communities put on. The thing to remember in this is that it is a huge honor to be asked to speak at a TEDx event. It is a humongous honor to actually speak on the TED main stage. But these two organizations are very highly regarded. With that being said, in August, I got a message on Twitter from someone that I didn't know. They said that they had followed me on Vine for all these years and that they were really interested in asking me to come speak at a TEDx event. At that time, when I read it, I almost blew it off because I thought, this is a joke, or like there's no way they would ask me to do this. I don't even know why they would ask me to do this. But with that being said, I read the message, then I read it again, and I finally answered, and I was just like, what is this? I knew what a TEDx Talk was, but I just thought maybe they messaged the wrong person. I didn't really know what to think. And the girl was very nice. I'm not going to say her name on here because I'm not trying to bash them. I will simply say that the TEDx event that contacted me was from Salinas, California. And that is where TED originated. And so this person contacted me and she said, we would really like you to be on our panel and to come do a TED Talk on social media advocacy and activism, and how do you use social media for activism and to support people. I was just in shock that they were asking me to do this. So I mulled it over in my brain for a little while, and then the very next thing I asked her was, okay, so I see that this is in California. You know that I live in Virginia, right? And she's like, yeah, I'm aware of that. I said, well, you know, to fly from Virginia to California is not cheap, and to stay there for however long you're going to want me to stay to do this is not going to be cheap. So let me ask you this. Are you all providing travel and accommodations for the people that you're asking to come speak? And she said yes. And I said, okay, well then yeah, I'm in, I'll do it. At that time, I was so excited because I've been watching TED Talks for a long time, and I went and looked at their YouTube channels, and I saw that TED has however many millions of subscribers, and the TEDx channel at that time I think had about 4 million subscribers. So I was like, holy shit, this is like huge. I can't believe they asked me to do this. And it wasn't even about like the subscribers on the YouTube channel. It was just the fact that it's such a huge audience. I went on to the internet and looked up like, how do you get to go speak at a TEDx event? And everything that I read said that some people spend their entire careers applying and trying to get asked to go speak at these events. And I was just like, Totally cannot believe they have asked me to do this. So I told my mom, my sister, my dad, and eventually I put it on Facebook, and I think I did a Vine about it, and I definitely put it on Twitter. And I followed them on Twitter, and like they followed me, and they were retweeting things I was saying about the event, and I was super excited about it. I talked about it on my vlog channel. I think I've even talked about it on this channel, and people were always like, oh my God, you're doing a TEDx talk? And I was like, yeah, I know, I can't believe this. So when she contacted me in August, she told me that the event was in February. And so that told me that I had 6 months to plan out this talk and to get it perfect. I wasn't sure exactly how long I was going to have, but one thing I did know was that no matter how much time I had to remember everything I was going to say. I had to memorize it. I was going to have to get up on the stage and do this all from memory. So that was kind of freaking me out. She and I talked a lot. We even had a phone call meeting one day not long after her asking me to do it, and she was telling me all about TEDx and like what it's about and how she's done TEDx talks, and that I was going to be fine, that she knew it was nerve-wracking and that it was not going to be easy and it was going to be scary and you know, all this stuff. But she was like, you got this, you can do this. She said, this is a huge audience for you, this is going to open many doors for you. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I wasn't sure like what doors it was going to open. It wasn't really about that. It was just the fact that they asked me to do it, and I was very proud that they had asked me to do it. I'm not gonna lie about that. With that being said, a lot of people were proud of me. My family was proud of me. Many of my friends were proud of me. Some extended family was planning on being there to watch me. Friends that I have in California were planning on being there to watch me. So as time has gone on, I have worked on my outline for my speech here and there, but I am busy. I'm not gonna lie. I've got so much going on that it has been on my calendar to write your TEDx talk, write your TEDx talk, write your TEDx talk. Every day it's been in my brain like, what am I gonna say? How's this gonna go? What's it gonna be like? It is now December 2016. The event is on February 26, 2017. That's 2 months from now. About a week ago, I woke up, and one of the first things I do in the morning is just check all my notifications, and part of that is my email. I checked my email. I had a group email that I had been added to, and it was about the TEDx Salinas event. And the organizer had started the email, and she basically was just like, hello everyone, glad to talk to all of you. I'm just adding everybody to this email so that we can all get to know each other. And then the part of the email that really stuck out to me was the paragraph that said, if you are local, these are the days that we are going to rehearse. If you are not local and you are flying in, this airport would probably be the best airport for you to fly into. And once you're here, these hotels are some ideas of places you can stay. And I read the email and I was just like, why is she telling me which airport I should fly into and which hotels I could stay at? I thought they were providing travel and accommodations. And I had her cell phone number because that's how we've been communicating. So I shot off a text to her and I was just like, hey, got your email. Just wanted to check, you know, you had told me that travel and accommodations were covered, so I was just wondering, like, when are you going to start setting that up, and what do I need to do? I waited all day. I never got a text back from her, and I was at the hair salon getting my wig smoked when I finally was like, let me send her a Twitter message, because it's very strange that she hasn't answered my text all day long. So I sent her a Twitter message and I was like, hey, I tried to text you today and you didn't answer. And she's like, oh, I left my phone somewhere else. And I was like, okay, well, here's my message. And I sent her the message about, you know, what I had just said, like, when are you gonna set up this travel thing, because it's getting kind of close. At that time, she very nonchalantly and in a, oh, by the way, sort of manner was just like, oh yeah, the event doesn't have the funding to pay for anybody's travel and accommodations. And I read that sentence and I was just like, oh. And then she said, but there's a way around it. And I thought, okay, well, what is that? This is the part where I felt like my head was gonna blow up. She said, yeah, the event doesn't have the money to cover everybody's travel and accommodations, but you could get a private sponsor who would pay for you to fly and pay for your hotel. And I said, private sponsor? I don't even really know what that means, and I'm not sure I have the energy or the time to get that done before the event. And I said, well, what do you mean private sponsor? And she's like, it's basically where you get a corporation to pay for your travel and accommodations, and in exchange you will promote them or perhaps give them a background look at a TEDx event. And I'm just reading this and I'm like, it's December, it's Christmas time. What are you talking about? I said, so basically what you're saying is I would try to find a company and like beg them for money and then tell them, oh, I'll talk about you at TEDx. And she's like, no, not really at TEDx, but you could talk about them on Facebook, or you could talk about them on Twitter or in vlogs or videos or whatever. And I'm just reading this and I'm like, it's kind of late in the game for you to tell me that I need to find a private sponsor. And with that being said, I really don't like going to people and asking them for money for myself. I don't mind asking for donations for different organizations that need it, but I don't like asking money for myself not to travel somewhere and do a speech. And I told her, I said, it's very late in the game for you to have told me this. What you're telling me is going to take a lot of time and energy on my part. And it is Christmas time, and it is only 2 months before the event. I said, if I had known that I had to pay for this myself, I might have done it, because it is an honor to be asked to do a TEDx talk. But you've waited too long to tell me this. Flying from Virginia to California is not cheap, and the longer you wait to get that ticket, the more expensive it gets. If I had known that I needed to get a ticket to fly to California, I would have done it in probably October or probably August when you asked me to do the TED Talk. So I said, I'm not really sure I'm going to be able to do this because you've really waited way too long to tell me this, and furthermore, you're not sticking to what you told me in the first place. And then this was the second time I thought my head was going to blow off, because she said, well, if we pay for one person, then we have to pay for everyone. When she said that, it made me feel like I was coming to her and like being like, please sir, please pay for my trip to California. It wasn't like that. I was telling you what you told me that you were going to do when you came to me and asked me to participate in this event. The next thing that really pissed me off and made me feel like my head was going to blow off was the fact that after she approached me to begin with in August, she and I have been talking a lot. We've talked, in text quite a lot. And we've gotten to know each other fairly well. Well, as soon as she told me that they were not going to be able to pay my way, and as soon as she saw that I was irritated by that, she began to speak to me with we sentences. And they went a little something like this. Well, we understand that this might not be something you'd be able to do. And then after I told her I'm not going to be able to do this, she said, we hope that you find your way to a red circle one day. I was very professional. I was not rude at all, and I just said, look, I'm just gonna have to let you know that I'm going to have to address this on social media, because I have been telling people that I was going to be flying to Salinas, California to do a TEDx talk. I had people who were planning on buying tickets and coming to the event. I have people who have been excited about this for me, and I have been promoting your event. I'm now going to have to go on social media and let people know that I am not doing this event. And so I put up a tweet about it, and I also put it on my Facebook. And she saw it, and she sent me a message, and she said, thank you so much for such a positive post. Please just reflect this on TEDx Salinas, not on the TED brand or the TEDx brand. And I was like, I'm fine with that. I didn't really answer her anymore that afternoon because I was pretty pissed off about it. So I slept on it, and I got up the next day, and I got to thinking about it. And this is what I have summed up. There are a lot of people who put in application after application after application hoping to get picked to do a TED Talk. I was not one of those people. I was just someone that they saw on the internet and liked what I had to say, and they decided to ask me to do it. With all of that being said, I have somewhat determined that TED is a money-making racket. She had told me right from the beginning that when I do my TEDx speech, I was going to sign over the rights to my TEDx talk, and it was going to belong to them, and they were going to put it on their YouTube channel. Now, you can go to socialblade.com and you can look up any YouTube channel, any YouTuber, and it will give you a rough estimate of how much that YouTuber makes a month and how much they make a year. And as a YouTuber, I can tell you that it is fairly spot on. The TEDx YouTube channel has 5,729,538 subscribers. And if you go to their Social Blade, it tells you that on any given month they make anywhere from $13,000 to $218,000 a month, and on a yearly basis they make anywhere from $159,000 to $2.6 million per year. So this is what I have summed up part of the way that they make money. They do not pay their speakers to come. Now, I was told that they were going to pay for my travel and accommodations, but then they turned around and told me that they weren't going to do that. But what I have summed up is that they don't pay us to do these talks. They charge people at least $50 to get into the event and to watch us talk, who they are not paying. So they're making $50 for every one of the audience members. Then they take our TEDx talk and they put it on their YouTube channel, and they get hundreds and thousands of views on every video, and they are raking in the money. Trust me when I say they are raking in the money. So they are making money off of people that they're not paying to come do these talks. So once I sat down and really thought about this, I wrote to the organizer and I told her that I felt like it was very unprofessional that she had come to me and asked me to do this, and she had told me that my travel and accommodations were going to be provided. And then she waited until 2 months before the event to tell me that, oh no, we're not paying for your travel and your accommodations. You're going to need to get a private sponsor, or else you're just going to have to pay for it yourself. And to tell me this at Christmas time, 2 months before the event, is just extremely unprofessional and unorganized. And I also let her know that I was kind of figuring out how they basically use the speakers to make money for themselves. So while I was very honored to get asked to do this TEDx talk, I have to say that I have gone and researched quite a bit since last week when all of this went down, and I think I'm starting to see that TEDx is not really as wonderful as they portray themselves to be. I hate to be negative, so I'm gonna leave it at that. I just wanted people to know why I am not going to do a TEDx talk. It is not on me. I was preparing for it. I wasn't ready yet, but I was really getting ready to buckle down and get this speech done and practiced and get my shit together so I could go do this TEDx talk. I was very proud to be asked. I was happy about it, but you know, shit happens. It's not on me, and I just want you guys to know why I'm not gonna do it. So that was it. That's what happened with the TEDx talk. Shit happens, like I said. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and if you have, thank you so much. If you are subscribed, please make sure that you turn on the little bell icon so that it will notify you every time I upload. Because for some reason, people who are subscribed to my channel have not been getting notifications that I've been putting videos up. Also, people have been getting unsubscribed to my channel, and I'm not really sure what's going on. But YouTube, you need to fix your shit. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I do videos every Tuesday and Saturday, so please come back next time, and I will see you then. Everyone have a great day. Bye! What the fuck?
They say Vine is dead. The technology's not, and neither is Twitter. Posts there, people.
What a brainiac.